Here are some deep words of encouragement for all who are struggling with life right now. I also made them into a video for those who want a visual representation of what I'm suggesting. I created these words in this video as a way to reflect on my own challenges. They came from a place of selfless hyper-awareness with this single loving intention to make the world a brighter place for all. I'll begin. Each and every one of us is brimming with uncharted potential, and yet we're born into an imbalanced world. And instead of developing the light of our potential and fearlessly shining the possibilities that it holds out into the world, most of us end up absorbing the shadows of societal imbalance until we ourselves become dizzyingly out of balance. At some point, we may suspect that we're trapped in something uncontrollable, whether it's a prison of our own mental processes or an imprisoned planet that's randomly subjected to the status quo of society's flow, or maybe by an elite sociopathic ruling class who has no regard for the well-being of anyone or anything on this planet aside from their own agenda. We often feel like we're being exposed to a hurricane of sensory stimuli, with most of its influence affecting us unconsciously, and without our better judgment as to discern what advances our potential or what stifles it. And without knowing it, we've become addicted to absorbing the shadows of societal imbalance. To step out of the shadows of sensory chaos that have been imprinted into our psyche, we must first choose to enter the inner eye of this sensory hurricane. It is there that the potential for temporary calm exists. From the fleeting feeling of centeredness that we find in the eye of the storm, it becomes our task to take a rational self-inquiry of where we're at and assess the parts of our personality that have tilted off the axis of the inner balance that we seek to restore. From there, we discover that our true employment in this world, our most important role, is not to fulfill the jobs that society expects of an obedient workforce. It's also not to fulfill our own self-absorbed ambitions regarding what we think society wants us to do, nor is it what we think we want for ourselves. As difficult as it can be to assume the roles that the world expects from us, the work we're actually here to do is a lot more subtle than what society expects from us, and it's a lot harder, but only at first. The only way that we will ever bring balance into this world is by doing nothing short of persistently, consistently, and deterministically creating balance within the parts of our personality that have become imbalanced. And nobody can do this job for us. We have to do it ourselves. But in order to succeed, we have to stop thinking of this as work or a job or a goal or that it's hard, and start feeling it more as a labor of love that we will forever be engaged with. If we resist it, then the challenges will persist. If we trust and learn to let go, we will eventually find our rightful and supported place within its flow. If we want to feel deep, lasting fulfillment, our fundamental mission in this life is to bring balance to the parts of us that have become imbalanced. Here's a few examples. Are you stuck in your head? Then get into your heart. Have you lost your emotional intelligence? Then get grounded into your body and get your body grounded into the earth. Is your body going through disease or dis-ease? Then get to know yourself as soul, the miraculous energy that animates your brain and body. And from there, you're creating conditions that allow your body to begin healing itself, if that's what you choose. If we don't make our potential a priority, then the inner balance that we seek will be as elusive as seeing an animal that is thought to be extinct. If we don't prioritize it for ourselves, how will we ever bring balance to all the sentient beings of this planet? But interestingly, if we do take responsibility for setting this labor of love into motion and intentionally create balance in the parts of our personality that are off-balanced, then the roles that society expects us to fulfill will become much easier for us to do so. And the reason why is because when we commit to this process, developing the light of our potential and fearlessly shining it out into the world, even if we only approach it with baby steps, a feeling of peaceful contentment arises within us, and we are able to confidently express it in our day-to-day societal lives, regardless of how meaningful or meaningless we or others perceive our lives to be. Despite the global imbalance that appears to be so widespread, there is actually a fundamental balance that exists within nature and in the universe. And from that perspective, we can begin witnessing that the parts of the world that are imbalanced are actually seeking to embody balance much more than they seek to resist it. It all comes down to a choice. Do we want to continue absorbing the shadows of societal imbalance, or do we want to start emitting the light of our potential out into the world? Try them both on for size and see which decision fits you best. Thank you for allowing me to share this message with you.